my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Today we're going to be covering some elements to do with Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel. I'm going to be trying to rank myself up using the Ancient Gear monsters. Currently I have been focusing on a specific deck. The reason is, with the recent duelist event that's gone on, I've been able to get necessary gems to get a somewhat decent number of the Ancient Gear monsters, and I thought we'd make a deck out of that. Personally, I've always loved the Ancient Gears. I think they're actually quite decent, even though they are albeit a bit slow. And I have a deck as is constructed, which I'm just going to show you now. It's nothing competitive, you know, it's still working on, and it's just available at the point I've got it at. I'm also looking at potentially adding some new cards in there. As you can see, they're not particularly that strong. I have 3 copies here of the Ancient Gear Hunting Hound. Its purpose is to do some burn damage. It also lets you do some fusion summoning. I have triple copies of the Ancient Gear Soldier. This is the very basic Ancient Gear monster. It was one of the first ones used by Dr. Velian Crowler, although it wasn't considered the boss monster. It was just kind of a side monster used as part of the tributes. I've got a couple of copies of Ancient Gear Knight. This is basically Ancient Gear Soldier, but it's got 500 additional attack points. It does have to be summoned twice because it is a Gemini monster to use its effect. Unfortunately, I only have 1 copy of Ancient Gear Box, otherwise I probably would have been using more of these. If this card is added from the deck or graveyard to the hand, you can then just add additional cards, so it's a good searcher. Similar with Ancient Gear Wyvern, when this is either normal summoned or special summoned, you're able to search and add an Ancient Gear card from your deck to your hand. So it's an easy way of preventing, you know, your opponent from doing things and actually adding to your consistency. Likewise with Ancient Gear Frame, by discarding this card you can either add an Ancient Gear Golem monster or one spell or trap card that has the name Ancient Gear Golem in its text from the deck to the hand. It's just another consistent searcher. Ancient Gear Engineer, I've only run 1 of these. I think I only have the 1 copy, and I wouldn't consider running any more of these, simply because it's only a 1500 attack monster. It's a level 5, so it requires a tribute, typically, and even though it can destroy a spell or trap card the opponent controls, it can be quite slow. I've got triple copies of the Ancient Gear Beast. This is because whenever it destroys a monster in battle, it's able to negate the effects of those monsters. A number of the opponents I've faced off against like to use this as part of their strategy to protect themselves or to search into some of their other game-changing pieces. I've got a couple of copies of Ancient Gear Hydra. I don't necessarily know how good this is, although it does have the ability to banish an opponent's monster that happens to be destroyed in battle. This does have to have used this effect whilst it's been tribute summoned using an Ancient Gear monster. It does have the alternative effect of being able to attack over all of your opponent's monsters if you've used a gadget as your tribute, but I don't actually have any other gadgets, so I'm still waiting on building those. I've got triple copies of Ancient Gear Golem. This is the main centerpiece of the deck, and one of these is at a higher rarity. I've got 1 copy of Ancient Gear Gadgetron Dragon. Again, I don't have any of the gadget monsters which I'm desperately needing for, so I can't do much about it. But it's just another monster to add to the deck. I've got a copy of the Ancient Gear Ultimate Pound. The reason for this is that it's able to attack multiple times in a turn, and you're able to search for a polymerization and an Ancient Gear monster if this happens to be destroyed. Ancient Gear Drill has the ability to just search for any of your spell cards, so this can actually be quite useful. I don't have anything outside of the Ancient Gear cards necessary at the moment, but I'll be considering working through those as we go through some of the duels a bit later on today. 2 copies of the Spell Gear. This is simply to be able to swallow up and bring out as many Ancient Gear Golems as possible, ignoring their summoning conditions. And Ancient Gear Catapult, the purpose of this is if you destroy either the fortress or you go for Gear Town, you're able to then bring out an Ancient Gear monster very easily without having to meet so many conditions. A couple of copies of the Ancient Gear Fusion just to bring out some of the fusion monsters, as I'll list slightly later. A couple of copies of the Ancient Gear Tank. You might be wondering why bother running this. It's just a boosting card, but it does boost them by 600 attack points, and if it happens to be sent to the graveyard, this can also do 600 points of damage. A copy of Ancient Gear Fist. This is simply to remove monsters that have the ability to protect themselves from being destroyed in battle. It's a good alternative to protect your field. And 3 copies of Ancient Gear Castle. These give each 300 attack points for Ancient Gear monsters, so if you've got all 3 on the field, that's 900 points. It also can be used to get rid of the tribute requirements necessary to bring out any of your Ancient Gear monsters that happen to be level 5 or above. Ancient Gear Fortress is the ability to protect your Ancient Gear monsters as soon as they're summoned, and if it is destroyed, you're able to just special summon an Ancient Gear monster from the hand or graveyard. It doesn't have the same limitations as some of the other cards, so it's actually quite decent. Triple copies of Mystical Space Typhoon, either to destroy my Gear Town or some of my opponent's cards. A copy of Dicefoon. Again, I'm still waiting for some of the support cards to deal with some of the multiple variations of destruction. And a copy of Ancient Gear Reborn. Just to clarify, I'll just go into this as well, just to show you what my current pool is like. As you can see, I've got quite a few variations. There's certain cards I'm not running. I'm not necessarily running Ancient Gear Explosive at the moment, just I don't think it's necessary for the deck. I am not using cross-dimensional duel just because I think the consistency of the deck I don't have is necessarily good enough to warrant running it yet. I'm still missing the Ancient Gear itself, so unfortunately it would be nice to have this just to be able to summon it into cards easier. I'm missing the Ancient Gear Gadget, which is necessary for the deck, and also the Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon. Those are the 3 main cards I'm missing, as well as alternative copies of some of the other cards I'm still missing. As you can see here, I've only got 1 of each of the fusion boss monsters, so that's a little bit annoying. I'm also kind of missing 1 more of the Ballista, but that's less of concern. I'm going to slowly bring you through some of the extra deck examples I'm actually going to add before we go into the duels. As you can see here, we have the Howitzer. This is just 2 Ancient Gear monsters, and it's unaffected by other card effects. Simply, it's a good way of doing some burn damage. I have the Ancient Gear Megatut Golem. Its purpose is just to fusion summon using 3 monsters, and it does some piercing damage. I've got the Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, which is the beat stick of the deck, as well as the Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. Hopefully we can get through some of the tier ranks so I'm able to make some more purchases of certain cards. Part of what I want to do is to improve the deck, and obviously from the second you reveal the pack, you've got 24 hours before that pack disappears. In this case I'm going to decide to go second. I think second for most Ancient Gear players is the advisable route to take. So this is an example of one of the cases where I don't particularly like the hand I've got. It's okay, at least I've got a monster that I can actually go into without requiring to, have to go into something specific. And there we go, we've got the Ancient Gear Knight. So that's my plan for next turn. My opponent is using Into the Void, so just drawing into an additional card. They've used Magical Mallet. I've seen a couple of players who use either this or Reload. I've never seen players use a combination of both just to redraw. Well, they must have had a bad starting hand, otherwise they wouldn't be going for this. Or they're going for Exodia. That's the other thing that I'm guessing. If you're drawing into these many cards, you are definitely focusing on the Exodia strategy. I know what they're doing. Okay, so my opponent's just given up in this case. I think they must not have drawn into the relevant cards, so that's why they're not looking for it. That's fine, you know, it's always more of a benefit for me if I can just rank up. Do you guys still enjoy Master Duel? For me, I really enjoy it. I think it's really good. And actually, the more cards they introduce, the better. I'm still waiting on them bringing out the Super Heavy Samurai, the new ones, because frankly I think that's necessary to improve the deck. I have most of the Super Heavy Samurai monsters as is, and I've already kind of constructed a basic deck from them. But after this, I think, depending on how this deck works, I might be looking at adding a couple of link monsters just to support the archetype. Okay, so my opponent has just put a card face down, so they're going for Sky Strikers. That's fine, that's not an issue. I've worked against Sky Striker cards before. Okay, so my opponent is doing that. That's okay, that's fine with me. So first thing I am going to do is I'm actually going to go into the Ancient Gear Wyvern. If I play this correctly, I think I can win within the turn. Or at least, even if... Okay, so my opponent, if you can... Okay, what's my opponent doing this turn? I'm a little confused. So it's just letting me search for anything. I am going to go into... What am I going to go into? There's a combination of things I can do. I think I'm just going to play it safe and just go with the Reborn. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just use the equivalent of polymerization for them. And I am going to go straight into this one. Reason I'm going straight into the Chaos Giant is because it's completely unaffected by my opponent's spell and trap cards, so I can sustain as much damage to my opponent as possible. As you can see, they're refusing. Okay, so my opponent is doing that. They're banishing my Ancient Gear Golem, that's fine, that's not an issue. That's Ancient Gear Wyvern and going into the Chaos Ancient Gear Golem, into the Giant. And I just set this face down. I can't set it face down, not until my next turn I think. There's a restriction to it. My opponent's just got a card in the hand and they've got the... Okay, so this is going to destroy one of my monsters. Well, it can't. They should have gone with the other monster. But that's fine, that's good for me. My opponent clearly didn't know what the Ancient Gears do, and so they basically lost. And that's quick damage. Next duel. So in this, I'm going to go second. I've drawn quite badly in this case, I think. The End of Iron deck. This is quite a difficult one to face. Okay, so they're going with Chicken Game. I'm not too sure what they're trying to do. I think it's just to draw into additional cards. I mean, you've got Servant of Endymion as well. This is a little bit concerning about how I'm going to focus against this deck. It's not one I've competed against a lot, but I know they've got a monster which has near enough 3,000 attack points. It's able to destroy cards. They can build up their offense pretty quickly. Yeah, there's the Jackal, that's a classic play, and they have the Servant. Right, so they are going to... I'm guessing they're... Okay, so Heavy Metal Foes, Electromite. And what are you going to add? So you've added this. This is the one I'm concerned about. Endymion, the mighty master of magic. Okay. Okay, so Reflection of Endymion. That's not good. And they're going to Pendulum Summon. The Jackal, the two Jackals are being summoned. And this itself. I'm thinking I've lost here. I think my opponent's already just kind of set themselves up, so yeah, I can't see winning this one. Okay, so they end their turn. Oh, this is going to be tricky. So I can... You know what, I'm going to try and bait them with this. Hopefully they'll negate this. Because that effect can only be used once a turn. That's fine. Okay, so next thing is this one. Hopefully this does not get negated. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to then use this card. This is going to destroy. And I am going to summon. What card am I going to summon? It allows me to ignore the conditions. So do I want to summon into something I can... Yeah, I'm going to want to summon into something I can just beat my opponent down with very quickly. Without having to do too much, you know, work with it. So I'll go into this one. And I'm going to use the Fortress effect as well. Purpose of the Fortress is I'm going to go straight into this one. Unfortunately, it's not strong enough. Otherwise, it would be a good idea. There you go. I've got a choice here. I can either... You know what, I'm better off actually just summoning into this. I know I'm not going to technically get rid of their cards. But I think the main point is to get rid of this. Okay, I can't do anything about that card. I have to get rid of this one. Yeah, I played that badly. I should have gone with a different strategy. Oh well, you live and you learn. Let's see. This card won't attack anything but that one. So I'm going to have to go to main phase 2. I should have left one of the cards in my hand. That way I could have attacked twice. Yeah, that's a bit concerning. If my opponent's able to then get any of the pendulum cards, they're going to be able to go straight into that again. Okay, so Mythical Institution just keeps building up counters. And they're using Spell Power Mastery, okay. So you can add an Endermine card. Yeah, that's not good. I'm really hoping they can't do anything. Okay, and they're going to scale this. So you've got a scale of... they're going to bring back the card. Yeah, they're bringing it back. And if anything, it's actually, my situation is now worse for what they've brought back. So they are reducing. What does that do? They're bringing back another one. And they're wiping out my entire field. Yeah, I've lost. I played that badly. Yeah, that was quite extreme. Let's go back into, you know what, I'm going to go and actually edit the deck, see what we can do to upgrade it slightly. So in terms of the ancient gear cards themselves, I think I've pretty much added most of them. The only ones I haven't added are, okay, so I do have more gearbots. I have this one. I have this, but that's not appropriate for now. I have another copy of this one. I think at the moment that's just too much. I would probably boost the copies on this. I'd look to maybe adding another copy of this one. If I went with something else, so if I search for this, you can add one Earth Machine type monster with 500 attack and defense. Okay. So clearly I need this card, Ancient Gear. I need to get some copies of that. I'm going to go into this, check for new cards that I can actually scrap. I don't think I have any of those left. So yeah, I've got a rare that I can scrap. There's another rare I can scrap. Again, these are all just rares. I need something a little bit lower in rarity. No, I don't think I have enough. I can dismantle a couple of cards, but I won't have enough there to make the difference. No, I don't have the requirements there. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look at some link monsters because I think that's only appropriate. So we're going to want something that is a link, probably link 2 and a link 3. 2 monsters, 2 trick stars. These are 2 link monsters, 2 trick stars, 2 monsters. 2 monsters with different levels. If a monster is special summoned face up to a zone this card points to, that monster becomes that level until you can tell, okay, destroy them. That card is irrelevant. That's irrelevant, not good. Normal monster, not good. That's specific. 2 effect monsters with the same type and attribute. You can target one of your monsters that is banished or expression. Okay, so I can actually add this card. It's going to be a bit bizarre using it, but it's I think it's fine. What else do I need? That's too specific. Those are for specific decks. This is not good. Not good. Irrelevant. 2 effect monsters. Gains 200 in this graveyard. This card is destroyed. Suppose I could add this. Appaloosa can go in there. 2 Thunder monsters, no. Altergeists. There's the Decode Talker. This can go in there. I was never very good with link monsters, but I don't even know which ones actually work for this. Okay, so I can actually go for this one. I can actually go with this. Oh, I've got that Mrs. Radiant. I can use that, definitely. 2 flip monsters, 2 Spiral, 2 Cyverse, 2 Gem, 2 Link monsters, Cyverse, 2 effect monsters, Pentastag doesn't really do anything, Cyverse, Light, Nephis, Zombie, Cyverse, level 2, Fire effects, nope, none of those are relevant. So this is Baba Barba. It's at the start of each battle phase you can target this card or one monster this card points to, banish it until the end phase. Irrelevant. Okay, so I don't have too many to look at. So this is... I could go for this. It's going to be very niche, but it's fine. But that's not, you can destroy that opponent's monster. This could be used. Trickstars, no. Crusadia, no. I don't have no level 1 monsters. Abyss Actor, no. That's irrelevant. No, 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 and no. Okay, so I have to just quickly arrange this. I think I'm going to take one of these out. I am going to take out... Ooh, there's a tricky one. I think I'm going to take you out. And I'm going to take out... Do I want to get rid of Extended? I'll just get rid of Extended. Save that. And now I am going to scrap the search. I'm going to check for machines. I'm looking for spell and trap cards. This can work in the deck. But it's a bit situational. Yeah, I'm going to have to quickly look through spell and trap support. Let's try spells and traps. Okay, so that'll work. No, I don't think any of these other ones will work. It's interesting because I really need machine duplication. I just don't have that card. So I'm going to save where I am now. And I will go back into the duels. This is against a Japanese player, so I'm a little nervous. I'm not too familiar with how they tend to structure their decks. I just know that Japanese players tend to be quite good. Okay, so in this case I have drawn really badly. Ancient Gear frame is fine, I'm just needing some more cards. Yeah, Albaz, that's tricky. I hate Sword Souls. Hate Sword Souls. There's no way I'm gonna win this. Yeah, as the traditional play goes, they're going to go into their level 10. Oh no, they're going to Baron de Fleur. Okay, so yeah, I've definitely lost. So the opponent has got their Sword Soul of Tyre. They're going into this, so they'll go into another level 8 synchro. Draco Berserker. Right, so I've got Gear Town. That's something. I'm going to start off with just trying to bait something, just mystical space typhoon it. Hopefully it'll be negated. No, they didn't bother. Now I'm going to have to go into Gear Town. Hopefully this actually resolves. Does it resolve? Yes, it does resolve. Okay, so that's actually, ironically, that's actually quite good for me. So the card I'm going to want to go into is... that's annoying. So I can only really go into the Gadgetron Dragon. I have an option here, but in all likelihood this is going to get negated. Have to discard this one. Yeah, so it gets negated and it's going to be destroyed. So I can either go into... I can only search for a couple of cards. there's nothing I can do. I can only just... Essentially all I can do is really crash into Baron de Fleur. So next I can set a couple of cards face down and end the turn. If I can go into the Gadgeton Dragon, it's going to be useful because I can then special summon it with additional attack points. So they've got Mathmex out here as well. That's concerning. So these are both tuners. We'll see what they can do. They're going to Splash Mage. And what's that going to do? That's going to retrieve a Cybers monster. Going back into Mathmex Circular. Which is this? No, this is a diameter, not circular. I'll probably link that across again into Nightmare Unicorn. No, they're going to decode for Heat Soul. Okay, so Heat Soul gains attack points, and it also allows them to draw into additional cards. Hopefully they're going to attack using Heat Soul first. So that way I can at least last a turn. Come on, attack with Heat Soul. I don't really have a choice. I have to summon it this way. I have to summon it now. The Gadgeton Dragon. I have to go into attack mode. This will at least stop the attack. At least for this turn. Heat Soul's effect will activate, and unfortunately there's nothing I can really do about that. I'm going to take the damage. Then I'm going to take the damage from this one. If they don't set anything else, I'm just going to MS2 their face down. So they're going to the end phase. Perfect. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to just clear their board. I'm not sure of that anyway, so it's not going to matter. Right, so first things first. I don't have a choice. I have to go back for that Gadgeton Dragon. It has to be summoned. I have to get rid of something. Now I have two choices here. I can either go for this one, which negates effects. Or I can go against this one. That, I don't think that's going to be so much of an issue at the moment. The negation is very minimal. I think the best thing for me to do is just take this one out, the Berserker, and that will end my turn there. If my opponent draws into a certain monster, then I'm going to be in a bit of a situation. I could have summoned or set the Ancient Gear Knight, but the problem with that is what you end up doing is you risk not being able to go into your more powerful monsters. Okay, so they've got that card out. Yeah, that's going to go into another level 8 monster. Fortunately, if it's not of a destructive nature, then I might... Oh, Baxi. Baxi is a problem. That's going to return my card. Yeah, I've lost. Even if I had set the Ancient Gear Knight, it wouldn't have made a difference. I would have been losing this Gachison Dragon. At least I kind of did something with the deck. I know annoyingly with Heat Soul that basically just won the match. And with the Chain Link, there is nothing I can do. So I take 700 points damage. And I'm just completely wiped out. At least there's a few hundred points I get from it. And it boosts my rating up slightly. This is against what looks like another Japanese player. Hopefully I get a deck that I can actually match up well against. This looks like the music field. This isn't too bad a hand, I'm going to say. Okay, my opponent's running Cyber Darks, I think. I know how they run, so I'm not too concerned about it. Although I am going to have to search for a very specific card to support my deck, I think. Eltonin, that's a little strange to go into Eltonin. That's going to be used, okay, Cyber Dragon hurts. Searches into Cyber Dragon. And Chimera searches into Power Bond. Actually, it sends Cyber Dark into the graveyard. Cyber Core. Okay, so they're going into Cyber Dark Realm. Searching for Cyber Dark Horn. And with that effect, they're able to then summon probably the Cyber Dark Horn, equip a level 3, so that's the Cyber Dark Claw, making it a 2400 attack monster. And from here, they are going to summon Union Carrier. With this, they go into Cyber Emergency. Searching for another Cyber Core. They're going to end their turn. Right, so first things first, I'm going to actually just straight away activate this. So all of my monsters gain those tap points. Next, I'm just going to go straight into the gear frame, use gear frames effect. I think I'll just get rid of the engineer. What else am I going to go for? So I need to search for something in particular. But there isn't really anything I can do about that. I could use this. But I think I'm better off actually just going straight into this. This will boost it up. And I'll just go in for the attack. I'll just end the turn. I think that's the best thing for me to do. My opponent's got the Cyber Dragon Core using its effect, and they're bringing out another Cyber Dragon Core. So the second Cyber Dragon Core, they're going to search for something. I think the opponent was mistaken because it's only when it's normal summoned that. Okay, so they're going into. What's this? Okay, double-headed anger knuckle. During the main phase, this quick effect, you can. Okay, so they've gone into Eltonin. This wipes out all my cards, but they don't seem to understand that actually what they've done is they've just let me special summon the Ancient Gear Golem. Shame I didn't have any more of those, but you know, it is what it is. Right, so they're gonna end their turn now. This effect only activates upon its summon. Ah, that's nice. That's good. See, I can actually do both here. I can actually use both and get rid of both. Okay, so they've used a max C. I'm not actually going to be special summoning, I'm going to just wipe out those cards. I'm waiting at the moment. I don't want to fuse into anything because at the moment I can only fuse into the howitzer. Okay, so my opponent has just brought back the knuckle. I think this can only happen once. I think my opponent's just brought it back. So that was okay, that was a decent duel for Ancient Gears, I think. I kind of knew based on what they were running. I have faced against more competitive Cyberdark players and Cyber Dragon players. There was one yesterday I was featuring that just completely wiped me out. They managed to equip everything, they had about 4 different fusion monsters on the field. And they just completely demolished me, and in this case they don't seem to be able to do much. This is not a good starting hand. I've got Ancient Gear Fist, which I'm not so happy about. I only have one copy of this card in the deck, and in both of these duels I've drawn into the copy. My opponent is running Destiny, Phoenix and Force. Okay, DPE. I hate DPE so much. Mostly because I can't really counter it in this deck. My opponent has got a card face down. Well, 2 cards face down and 2 Destiny heroes. Right, so I've got 2 copies of the Ancient Gear frame. First thing I'm going to want to do is I need to probably summon into the Ancient Gear frame. I think that's actually the best thing for me to do. I know you probably go with Ancient Gear Castle first for some people, but this is not the right course of action. Okay, if it's going to destroy this and this, I'm actually quite happy about that. The Scythe is not a good one. Scythe stops me from actually summoning anything. The only thing I can think of doing is I need to get rid of the this card. I'll just play this card. I can't do anything and I need to end my turn. DPE's coming back to the field. Wow, this is awful. The fact that they're comfortable enough to just bring out their Ash, Blossom and Joyous Spring with 0 attack points. And you'll link something into Cherubini. Right, with Cherubini's effect, I have, okay, the Phantom Knights. Okay, so that's in the graveyard. They've got a Graph, Mellibranch of the Burning Abyss. They summon that. And they've got Rusty Bardiche. Torn Scales are sent to the graveyard, and they have this, which is actually like a trap monster. Okay, so you're going to banish that card to search for the Silent Boots. They've discarded the Crossout Designator and sent the Fogblade to the graveyard. And they've special summoned the Silent Boots. Probably going to go into Phantom Knight's Breaker, I think. No, they're going to Yugioh, the sea dragon. So what they're going to do here, they do have quite a few choices, so they're just going to go into the battle phase. I don't blame them, they can just beat me, finish me here. Right, so that was a bit of a disappointment. According to this, I'm going to go first. That's fine. Wonder what they're going to be playing. This starting hand, I think it's okay, actually. I'm going to start off with this, the Hunting Hound. Hunting Hound's effect, just a 6 damage. I'm going to just Fusion Summon. I'll go into, I think I'll just go into this. The Howitzer will just let me kind of go into anything. Whereas with this is more specific during a specific time. So with this, I'm going to Fusion Summon using you know what, I am just actually going to go into this. You might think this is a bit mad and it's a bit all in, but here we go. That's going to go into attack position. The Megaton Golem, and I'm just going to use the Gravity Blaster. Kind of boost it up. There we go, that's 3,700 points. Oh, fantastic. Luckily for me, I had a backup. You summoned a Thunder Nyan. Why? Okay, so Hydra is not going to be useful here. My opponent just kind of quits. I don't think they could have done anything. That was just pretty bizarre, though. Let's see where we're at, see if I can get anything. No. I think I'll probably have enough for some of the booster little bonus packs. Yeah, I've got more than 10. Okay, so the best cards I've got here, there's a DD card which is useful. That can be potentially useful. Add a level 4 or lower pendulum monster. Okay. That is good for machine types, but actually some of the ancient gears do this as their effect already. Wow, I've got Orgoth the Relentless. I actually really like this card. I've never heard of this card. This is going to be difficult to summon. 10 other cards with different names from your hand and all field. Ways, this card's for, if this card is shuffled, all cards in the deck except this card from each player's hand. You're going to need a very specific type of deck to run that. And this card, it's 2 level 5 monsters, so... Okay, so that's fine. None of those at the moment is going to be too useful. I might as well just get the last pack. Alright, so this is supposed to be decent. Let's see how decent you are. Cyber Summon Blaster. So this Utopia is good. This is actually good for machine monsters when they're special summoned. But I don't do too much special summoning in the deck. Ancient Gears don't really rely on that. We'll go back into the duels, I think. Keep in mind, guys, that I have been making some more additional Yu-Gi-Oh content around Master Duels. Just the recent event, which is the Themathon. Look forward to that. That's going to be uploaded hopefully within the next couple of weeks. I still have to do some editing. I need to do some cutting. I need to do some voiceovers with it. But I know who this person is. This is like a bot, and they kind of they defeat themselves. That name, I know that name. That. Quat, it's a specific one that they defeat themselves by using various kind of obscure cards. The annoying thing about the Themathon is, like any of these events, these are very heavily gem orientated, and I was trying to build a specific deck. The one I was looking at was the Heroic Challengers, because they were recently released with the newest support. And that's come out in one of the new packs, but I'm still needing some of the higher rarities of the original Heroic Challengers. I also need the highest rarity among the new pack. I think I've got most cards, but I am missing Halberd, I'm missing the new rank 4 Xyz monster, and a couple of other Spell and Trap support. I'm also missing quite a few. I think I'm missing pretty much all of the Xyz monsters from the list. Bar, I think, the rank 1, which is a new one. Which is just kind of an irritation, I think. Alright, so I've drawn into the Ancient Gear Soldier, and the next thing I'm going to do is probably my opponent is going to use some sort of self-destruction effect. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to search for this. And I am going to use its effect. Yeah, I know they have the self-destruct effects. There we go. Right, so from here, it doesn't really matter what I get. I think I'll just get the Hydra anyway, just to thin out the deck. And I'll Fusion Summon. Go into the Ancient Gear Giant. Fuse this one, and the Soldier. So that was just what we'll do in this one. It's some random bot that keeps going around and just kind of gives you the victory, which I don't think is fun either. Hopefully we can win this one. Let's get through to the next rank. This hand is not good. It'd be fine, but I've got just too many spell cards and I've got no monsters. Oh, my opponent's running Dragon Maids. I hate Dragon Maids. So that is kind of me defeated already, I think. Yeah, that's too much for me to go for. Yeah, like I was saying, I would have liked to have been in a situation where I had probably focused less on getting a specific deck and rather using the gems to maybe randomly assign the Yugioh Master Duel packs. And if I'd done that, then I might have been able to get into a deck that I was more so focused on and interested in. As such, I've kind of hit on Ancient Gears, which I don't mind, but they're not the best deck for what I need. They can be quite explosive with their ability to play, but they can also be somewhat restrictive. So first things first, I will start with the Ancient Gear Fortress. Any takers, any response? Yeah, it's going to get negated. Ironically, in doing that, I'm going to try and activate the second one. Activate Gear Town. Activate Ancient Gear Castle. going to, because I can't do anything with this yet, I'm going to just set this. And it still counts towards the requirement. Hopefully my opponent summons something this turn, and I'm able to just bring out the ancient Yugioh. So sent their Dragon Maid card back to the hand, and they're going to just destroy my monster. You going to summon anything else, or are you just going to leave it like that? Okay, so special summon something that doesn't count towards this summon ability. So my opponent has both monsters on the field. I definitely have lost this one. And they've got Dragon Maid Hospitality, so that's another special summon. And yeah, they've won. Yeah, that was tough. Let's try this again. Senior C, I'm facing off against. This starting hand, it's okay, I think. And I want Gear Town, I think, in my starting hand. Is this a Despia deck or a branded deck, since it's using Dart attributes? Yeah, it's a branded deck. You're going into which of the cards here? Lubellion. Okay, so this one. This card is Fusion Summon. You can discard one card, Fusion Summon one level 8 or lower Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling Fusion monsters mentioned on it into the deck from your monsters on the field, graveyard, and or face-up banished cards. So you're going to fuse again. So my opponent is going to Fusion Summon using this card. Into Mirror Jade. Okay, that's going to be a problem for me. Right, so they've ended their turn. That's good. Now I'm going to have to decide how I'm going to play mine. There is definitely a condition I need to meet here. So I'll start with this Ancient Gear Castle, make it nice and easy. Then I'll just go into this. Hopefully Mirror Jade uses its effect now. So we're going max C. Card am I going to look for? I have the Fusion card. I could go into this, which is that, or I Could go into Gear Town. No, I can't go into Gear Town. Won't let me go into Gear Town. Could go into, like I said, the Fusion. Well, we'll see how it goes from here. Okay, so the connection fails there. Pretty strange outcome. Oh, you know what? Can't say I'm surprised. It's fine. Let's get what we need from the shop. And we get 6 of these. Pharaoh's Treasure, I know what this card is. I've actually got these cards. They're not particularly useful. Bubble Blaster. Nothing here is screaming, you know. Nimble Angler is okay. That's fine. That's okay. So I think that's going to wrap it up for the moment, but I might be doing a little bit more stuff a bit later on. Make sure to like the video and share this live stream if you can. The replay will become a video on demand, and make sure to check out any of my other videos